I think last week I mentioned The Intelligent Investor. If not last week, one of the previous videos, I mentioned The Intelligent Investor. I've mentioned Howard Marks' book called The Most Important Thing, which is very good. And then this is the book that many value investors will say is the book on value investing. This is a 7th edition called Security Analysis by Benjamin Graham and David Dodd. The history of this book is that in the early 1930s, Benjamin Graham, who was teaching at Columbia University, he was an adjunct professor at Columbia, and I think it was either a teaching assistant or grad student that was sitting in named David Dodd, who was taking notes on Graham's lectures, and those notes eventually became a book called Security Analysis, written in 1934. For many investors, that book has been through several editions, but for many value investors, probably the most definitive edition is the edition that came out. I think it was the 2nd edition, came out in 1940. So this edition, which is the 7th edition, Graham and Dodd have been deceased for many years. But what makes this a new edition is a number of very well-known names in the value investing community have made contributions, have written essays for the book that are attached to the 1940s edition. So they first started doing this in 2007. That was the 6th edition came out. It's edited by a man named Seth Klarman, who is a very well-known value investor. He runs the Bopos Group, and he was the lead editor, but he got together all of these big names in value investing. They put together all these essays. This particular edition came out, so the 6th edition came out in 2007. This particular edition came out in 2023. So it's much more reflective of current markets. And you'll hear a lot of investors just refer to Graham and Dodd. That is one of the editions of Security Analysis. And it's really kind of the canonical text of value investing, still very relevant today. And it's required reading. But, of course, Buffett studied with Ben Graham at Columbia before eventually starting his own firm and then buying a controlling stake in a Berkshire Hathaway, and the rest, as they say, is history. But this is, it's more of a textbook, unlike The Intelligent Investor, which is written more for a general audience. This book is a little denser, but if there are any budding serious value investors out there, it's required reading.